So I was in the middle of recording my Miami Heat rebuild video when I seen this tweet right here that said that the Washington Wizards are trading Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns to pair up with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And honestly, Phoenix really didn't give up that much to get Bradley Beal, as they did trade away Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and multiple second round picks. But the thing that was kind of weird about this trade was that last week they ended up waiving Chris Paul. So I don't really know how he was involved in this trade. I mean, maybe they didn't make it official. They went ahead and they just kept him around just to see if they could get like another player, which obviously they did because they just landed Bradley Beal. And another good thing about this trade was that they were able to get Bradley Beal without having to trade away DeAndre Ayton. So now they have a big four, if you want to call it, of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and now Bradley Beal. So what's good, everybody? It's your boy King Killer back here today with another video. Thank you guys for dropping by. So in today's video, we are rebuilding the Phoenix Suns, who just traded for Bradley Beal. I was in the middle of recording my Miami Heat rebuild video when I had seen the tweet, and I was like, you know what, I could finish this Heat rebuild later. Let me go ahead and let me hop on Phoenix real quick so I could go ahead and do a rebuild for them. But yeah, this is definitely a crazy trade. I don't really think a lot of people saw this coming because it didn't really make sense for Phoenix to try to trade for Bradley Beal, because a shooting guard really wasn't what they needed. They needed a good small forward or power forward, depending on where you want to play Kevin Durant. And then you also needed a point guard because you just waived Chris Paul. So honestly, this trade really doesn't make that much more sense. I don't really think they needed another scorer. They needed more good pieces around, like other role players. And trading for Bradley Beal is tough just because you have 4 players now on this team making the max money because they all have max contracts. You have Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker, you have Bradley Beal, and you have DeAndre Ayton all making the max money. So you're going to be so limited in what you can do in free agency and who you can bring in. And honestly, for this team, there's really only is, I believe, like 4 players under contract, right? It's Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and I believe Cameron Payne has a player option, or no, a team option. And other than that, we only have Ish Wainwright. So technically, we only have 5 players under contract right now. But I don't know what we're gonna do with this team because I think I might want to move DeAndre Ayton, and I feel like DeAndre Ayton is more likely to get traded now more than ever, just because you just brought in Bradley Beal to this team, who is another scorer. So DeAndre Ayton is once again going back to that 4th scoring option, and that was one of the issues he had with Coach Monty Williams, was that he felt like he wasn't getting the ball enough in the paint, he wasn't getting enough shots up. So you just brought in another 30-point per game scorer in Bradley Beal. So I don't really think DeAndre Ayton is going to be too happy. So we might look to move him, honestly, before the season starts, just because, like I said, we're so limited with what we can do in free agency because we don't really have a lot of money. We have all our money tied up and pretty much in DeAndre Ayton, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. So honestly, if I could get like 2 to 3 good players for DeAndre Ayton that really aren't making that much money, I think I might have to do that, even though I do want to go ahead and run one full season at least with DeAndre Ayton, Beal, Booker, and Durant. I just feel like we don't really have that much time because Kevin Durant is 34 years old, going on 35. Bradley Beal is already 30. Devin Booker is already 26. And I already know Bradley Beal is going to start to regress. So I feel like I got to go ahead and try to make a championship move now. So I think DeAndre Ayton might get traded before the season starts, but we have to go ahead and see. I want to see what I could get in free agency first. If I'm able to get a couple good players on the minimum or something like that for not too much, then maybe I go ahead and maybe I keep him. But if I don't really feel like I'm getting the pieces that I need, I think DeAndre Ayton is more likely to get traded this offseason. So let me know down below in the comments, do you guys think this was a W or an L for Phoenix? I personally think this was an L just because you didn't need another shooting guard. You needed a point guard, small forward, or power forward. And you went out and traded for a position that you already had, especially since he's making so much money. He's making 50 mil a season. You didn't need to go out and get Bradley Beal. You guys could have traded for another like couple good pieces, like couple good role players. But you know what? It is what it is. We're trying to get Phoenix a championship, so let's see what we can do with this team. All right, so we do have 1 pick in this draft, and I really don't know who I want to go ahead and take because they probably won't be playing big minutes for us anyways. So I think I want to go ahead, maybe Jordan Miller, maybe Keontae Johnson. You know what? We could go ahead and we can select, do I know anybody else? I mean, we could go ahead and take Julian Strawder because I know sometimes he does develop good in this game. Okay, so he's only a 69 overall, so not really what I was expecting. Coming over here to the team options, we're going to go ahead and pick it up on Cameron Payne just because I think we only have like 4 guys under contract right now. And then we're going to go ahead and offer the qualifying offer to Jock and Baisley. Alright, so we went ahead and brought back Josh Okogie, TJ Warren, and Terrence Ross. Got them for pretty good deals as they were only asking for about like 6 mil a season, and then Terrence Ross was only asking for the veteran minimum. All right, and I'm looking for a good backup center, so I think I want to go ahead and offer Nerlens Noel a contract, so we can go ahead and actually I want to give him a 2-year deal worth about the minimum, so we are going to go ahead and give him that. Does he accept this? And he does accept that deal, so let's go. Then we're going to go ahead and we're also going to offer Chris Dunn a 2-year deal worth about $4 mil. I'm hoping he accepts that, and he actually does, because low-key Chris Dunn is kind of a sleeper in my league. You don't really see him too often, but he is a good defensive point guard, and he is a good playmaker as well. Alright, so I'm going to see if the Pacers will accept this trade. I'm sending them DeAndre Ayton and a first round pick for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. I low-key feel like we have to do this trade just because we weren't really getting what we needed in free agency, because we are so limited on the amount of money that we can spend, because we're already paying 4 guys the max contract. So if I have to give up DeAndre Ayton to get back 2 good players, I low-key think I have to do that. Plus, the Pacers did want DeAndre Ayton, I believe last season or 2 seasons ago when they offered him that contract, but then obviously Phoenix went ahead and matched it. So do we get this deal done? Please say yes. Okay, we do not. What if I go in and throw in somebody like, we could give up Darius Bazley. They still say no. What if I gave up TJ Warren in this trade? Okay, they still say no. What if I gave up Terrence Ross? Come on, please say yes. Okay, there we go. So they do finally accept the trade. So welcome to the team, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. All right, so for the start of season number 1, this is what the rotation is looking like. We got Chris Dunn, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Miles Turner. Off the bench, we got Buddy Hield, Cameron Payne, Josh Okogie, and Nerlens Noel. Taking a look at system proficiency for this team, we are going to go ahead and run, I guess we could go ahead and run 7 seconds. And then taking a look at shot tendencies for this team. This is going to be the tough part, because everybody right here has a 96 or greater shot tendency for Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. So I think I want to go ahead and make Bradley Beal the 3rd option, so we could go ahead and lower his touches and his shot tendency. Devin Booker, I think I want to go ahead and have as the 1st option, so Kevin Durant can drop down to like a 90, but he could go ahead and drop down to like a 95 touch, and then Devin Booker could go ahead and drop down to a 95 and then a 95. Miles Turner at a 54 is fine, 69 is fine, 74 is fine. Josh Okogie could go up to like a 50. Chris Dunn can go ahead and he could actually go down to like a 55. Jock isn't playing for us, and then we could go ahead and hire Nerlens Noel up to like we could go ahead and do like about a 50. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a big season for this team, because you have 3 max contract players on this team. So you definitely have high expectations. So we are going to go ahead and simulate the first 3 games of the season. We do win the first, lose the second, but we do win the third. So we did win against the Lakers, as Devin Booker did have 33, Bradley Beal with 15 in his first game as a Phoenix Sun. The second game we did lose, as we only lost by 3, Devin Booker with 27, KD with 22, and then Bradley Beal with 17. And then in the third game of the season, we did end up winning, as KD dropped 35, Devin Booker dropped 33, and then Bradley Beal dropped 21. So yeah, like I said, you definitely have big expectations when you're spending this much amount of money on a team, or not even on a team, but on 3 players. You're spending over like 45 mil for each player. So there definitely is high expectations for this team. So we got to go ahead and fill those expectations. So I'm hoping for like a top 2 seed in the West. So we're going to go ahead and simulate, and I'm going to go ahead and catch you guys at the end of season number 1. Alright, so at the end of season number 1, Jokic winning MVP, Victor Wembanyama winning Rookie of the Year, Ben Simmons winning 6th man in Brooklyn, Giannis winning Defensive Player of the Year, and then Darius Garland winning Most Improved. Taking a look at the All-NBA teams, do we get somebody on here? We do not. Actually, no, we do get Kevin Durant on here out of all players. And for the All-Defensive team, we do not get anybody. But taking a look at where we finished, we ended up going 53-29, so good enough for the first spot in the West, so I will definitely take that. And taking a look at the player stats for this season, who led the way, we had Devin Booker leading the way with 24 points a night. Then we had Kevin Durant with about 22.5, 7.5 rebounds, so not that bad of a rebounder for Kevin Durant. Bradley Beal with about 21.5 points in his first season. How efficient was he? Yeah, he was really efficient. 55% from the field and 46% from deep. Damn, that is really efficient for Bradley Beal. And then we had Buddy Hield off the bench with about 14.5. Cameron Payne with about 13 points and 5.5 assists. Miles Turner with about 11 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 2.5 blocks a night with almost 1 steal. Josh Okogie with about 7 points a night, and then Nerlens Noel with about 6 and almost 5 rebounds. And then we also did have Chris Dunn with about 6 points and 4 rebounds with almost 7 assists a night. Okay, so not too bad for Chris Dunn. I mean, the efficiency really wasn't there, but I did go ahead. He only shot 16% from 3, but I did go ahead and lower his 3-point tendency down to 0. just because he really can't shoot threes, and I didn't really want him to be shooting threes. We don't really need that from Chris Dunn. But yeah, honestly, not that bad of a season for a lot of these players. This was actually a pretty good season for them. So do I want to go ahead? Actually, you know what? I do want to go ahead and I want to adjust the minutes real quick. So we could go ahead and do something like this. I don't really want to adjust it too much. We're just going to go ahead and pretty much give like 1 more minute to each of our big 3. And you know what? We could go ahead and give 1 more minute to Miles Turner. Why not? But yeah, taking a look at who we are facing in round number 1, we are facing the Oklahoma City Thunder, so Kevin Durant's old team. Did they add anybody? They did add Josh Hart to this team. They brought back Russell Westbrook to this team. Okay, that's actually pretty cool to see. Did they add anybody else? It doesn't really look like it. No, not really anybody worth noting. But yeah, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder in round number 1. Come on, don't get upset. I just know 2K has a tendency of doing stuff like that where they just go ahead and upset you in the first round. Don't do this to me. So we are going to go ahead and simulate as we lose in the first round in 7 games. Come on, man. This is so annoying. I hope in 2K24 they go ahead and fix this, because the amount of times an 8 seed beats a 1 seed is just so unrealistic in this game. I swear. We only lost by 1.2. That's crazy. Game number 1, we ended up losing. Game number 2, we ended up winning. Kevin Durant dropped 25, 20 for Miles Turner. Game number 3, we ended up winning as Devin Booker led the way with 29, Buddy Hield with 25. Game number 4, we ended up losing. Game number 5, we ended up winning. Game number 6, we ended up losing by 23 points. And then game number 7, we ended up losing by 1 point. See, I'm telling you, man, this is one of the things I hate about 2K. You just get upsetted so many times. It's so fake, man. It's so fake. But the Boston Celtics did end up winning the championship against the New Orleans Pelicans. But this was honestly a pretty good team. I feel like if we didn't get upset, we probably had a good chance of winning the finals. But we are going to go ahead and run it back with this team. And I feel like I don't really need to make too many moves. I feel like all the players that we do have aren't really that bad. I mean, maybe we could go ahead and look for an upgrade at the point guard spot. But for the meantime, I think we're just going to go ahead and run it back with the same team. But if I do go ahead and make any moves, then I'll obviously go ahead and show you guys. Alright, so for the start of season number 2, this is what the rotation is looking like. We got Chris Dunn, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Miles Turner. Off the bench, we got Buddy Hield, Kevon Looney, Cameron Payne, and Josh Okogie. Taking a look at system proficiency for this team, is anything better than 7 seconds? No, it is not, so we're going to go ahead and stay with that. And then taking a look at the shot tendencies, I don't really feel like I have to change a lot of these. I feel like a lot of these are going to be the same from last year. But we are going to go ahead and up Kevon Looney to like a 50, and then Josh Okogie could go ahead and go back down to like 845. Chris Dunn 53 is cool, and then Cameron Payne 72 is cool as well. So we just got upsetted last year. I want to come back and have a really good season, so I'm hoping we could go ahead and lock up that number 1 seed once again. So we are going to go ahead and simulate the first 3 games, as we do start off the year 1-2, 2-1. We did lose the first game against the Sacramento Kings by 4 points. Kevin Durant had 22, Devin Booker had 20, and Bradley Beal had 20. Then we did win the second game of the year, Bradley Beal with 30, KD with 23, and then Buddy Hield with 18. And then in the third game of the season, to the team we lost against, Kevin Durant dropped 31, Bradley Beal with 23, and then Devin Booker with 20, as we did win by 7 points. So I'm hoping we could continue the luck we had last year. Well, not really luck, but I'm hoping we could continue with the good season that we had last year. But hopefully we can make it out of the first round this time. So we are going to go ahead and simulate, and I will catch you guys at the end of season number 2. Alright, so things really aren't going the way I expected to them this season. So we're going to see if we could go ahead and pull off this trade with the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to be sending them Miles Turner and Julian Strouder for Clint Capella and Javon Carter. Do they accept this trade? And they do. So I don't know, for whatever reason, Miles Turner was upset. He was down like 4 or 5 overalls, which I don't really get why he's upset. I mean, I don't know if he wanted more touches, but you know what? We went ahead and we traded for a center that hopefully doesn't really want the ball too much. So we're going to go ahead and actually adjust this rotation real quick. And I still want to go ahead, you know what, actually we could go ahead and run with the rotation that they choose out for us. So we're gonna go ahead and run something like this. Kevon Looney, actually I do want Buddy Hield to be our 6th man though, so we could go ahead and do something like this, and we could go ahead do something like this probably. So yeah, we could go ahead and we could run some rotation like this. So hopefully we do get better, because we are 21 and 29, so definitely a different year than we had last year. So I'm hoping this trade that we made is a big improvement. So I'll go ahead and I'll simulate, and I will catch you guys at the end of season number 2. All right, so at the end of season number 2, Darius Garland winning MVP, Andrews winning Rookie of the Year, Simmons winning Sixth Man in Miami, Evan Mobley winning Defensive Player of the Year, and then Jalen Duren winning Most Improved Player. Taking a look at the All-NBA teams, do we get somebody on here? We do not get anybody. What about an all-defensive team? We do not get anybody as well. So taking a look at where we finished, I don't really feel like it's going to be good. Oh man, we ended up going 42-40. We were not good at all this season, man. Come on. I feel like we were robbed last season, as the Oklahoma City Thunder from an 8th seed last year are now the 1st seed, and they actually won the same amount of games as we did last year. And we are now the 9th seed. So from top to bottom, doesn't really look good, doesn't really feel good. But yeah, taking a look at the player stats, Kevin Durant with 24 points, Devin Booker with 22, Bradley Beal with 21.5. Buddy Hield with about 13.5 points off the bench. Cameron Payne with about 10 and 4.5 assists off the bench. Clint Capella with about 9.5 points, 9 rebounds, almost a steal, and then only 1 block a night. So I don't really think he's much better than Miles Turner, but Miles Turner really didn't want to be here. So yeah, we had to go ahead and trade him away. Chris Dunn with about 7.5 points and almost 8 rebounds, 8 assists a night with about 2 steals. I'm surprised he didn't make the all-defensive team. And then Kevon Looney, 6.5 points, 8 rebounds off the bench, not bad. Javon Carter didn't play for us. And then Josh Okogie with about 5 points, 3 rebounds, and almost 1 steal a night. Oh man, this is definitely tough. This is definitely going to be tough, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do the best that I can, I guess, because we really don't have much options on this team. So I'm going to go ahead and let them decide what type of rotation we are running. And I low-key kind of want something more like this, because Kevin Durant is 36 years old. I don't really want him playing that many minutes. So we could go ahead and do something like this, I guess. Clint Capella with 26 is fine. Chris Dunn off the bench, Kevon Looney, Buddy Hield, and then Josh Okogie. So hopefully we get lucky. Maybe we could pull off an upset too, as the Denver Nuggets are actually the 10th seed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and simulate as we don't even make it to the playoffs. So we missed the playoffs with a team that has Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. All these guys are making so much money. Oh man, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. We're gonna have to definitely blow it up for next season. So obviously I still want to keep, actually I don't even know, do I want to trade away Kevin Durant? I'll probably listen to trades and see what I can get, but I definitely need to go ahead and make a big time move, because we just got eliminated in the first round after being upset by the 8th seed. Then we just completely missed the playoffs. So season number 3, we definitely had to go ahead and we had to make a big time adjustment. Alright, so one of the first moves that we were making is sending Josh Okogie to the Houston Rockets for Little. Do they accept this trade? They want a 2nd round pick. You know what, we could go ahead and we can do that. Alright, so for the final season here in Phoenix, this is what the rotation is looking like. We moved Devin Booker to the point guard, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Nasir Little, and Clint Capella. Coming off the bench, we got Kevon Looney, Cameron Payne, Buddy Hield, and Bruce Brown. Taking a look at system proficiency for this team, we are going to go ahead and, you know, we could go ahead and switch it up. We're going to go ahead and run balance for this year. And then taking a look at the shot tendencies, Kevin Durant could stay at a 90. Bradley Beal could also go up. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and drop down Kevin Durant to like an 85. He is 37 years old, so we can go ahead and lower his touches a little bit. Bring up Bradley Beal to like a 90. You know, we could go ahead and leave him at a 90. Clint Capella, he could go up to like a 50. Kevon Looney could go up to a 50 as well. Nasir Little can go up to like a 57. Cameron Payne at a 70 is fine. Buddy Hield at a 65 is fine. And then Bruce Brown could go up to like a 50. So yeah, for the final season, I'm hoping we can make the playoffs once again. And I'm hoping we could at least make a deep playoff run. I don't really care where we finish, honestly, at this point. But we are going to go ahead and simulate the first 3 games of the season. And we do almost start off 3-0, as we do win the first game against the Los Angeles Lakers. Bradley Beal with 34, KD with 19, and then Clint Capella with 17 and 13. Taking a look at the second game of the year, as I believe Donovan Mitchell is in LA. He's a Clipper, pairing up with Kawhi Leonard, and they also do have Chris Dunn, our former player. And we did end up winning this game by 31 points. Kevin Durant with 31, Bradley Beal with 27, and then Devin Booker with 21. And then the third game of the season, we did end up losing by 8 points, as Kevin Durant dropped 28 and then Devin Booker dropped 23. So yeah, don't really care where we finish the year at. As long as we make the playoffs, I am good, and I'm just hoping we could have a good playoff run. So we are going to go ahead and simulate, and I will catch you guys at the end of season number 3. Alright, so at the end of season number 3, Luka winning MVP, Trey Johnson winning Rookie of the Year, Collier winning 6th Man, Victor Wembanyama winning Defensive Player of the Year, and then Anthony Black winning Most Improved Player. Taking a look at the All-NBA teams, do we get anybody on here? We do not. What about an all-defensive team? We did not get anybody. And taking a look at where we finished, We ended up going 43 and 39, man. We ended up as the 7th seed, so we made the play-in tournament. Oh man, this Phoenix team. I'm telling you, you're just so limited with the moves you're able to make because Bradley Beal is taking up so much money. And obviously I didn't want to trade him because he is the whole reason for this video. But man, this is definitely tough. This is definitely tough. But taking a look at the season stats, Devin Booker with 22 points, 6.5 assists as our starting point guard. Kevin Durant with about 20 and a half points. Bradley Beal with about 19 points. Cameron Payne with about 12. We went ahead and we actually traded Nasir Little for Santi Aldama midway through the season, just because I feel like he could help out more, and he did average 11 points and 6 rebounds, and he was pretty efficient. 44% isn't bad, and then 35% isn't from deep isn't bad as well. Buddy Hield with about 11 points, Kevon Looney with about 10 and 10. Clint Capella with about 9.5 and almost 11 rebounds. I did start bringing him off the bench just because he was actually unhappy with this role as well, which is like, I don't know what I can do to make these guys more happy. Like, I'm not going to give you guys like a higher shot tendency because we already have enough scores on this team. Bruce Brown with about 6.5 points, and then he also did have 2 rebounds and almost 2 assists with almost 1 steal a night. But yeah, this is definitely going to be tough. This is definitely going to be tough. I don't really see us making it out of the play-in tournament, but we are going to go ahead and I'm going to adjust our you know what I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and adjust that to 7 seconds. Our system proficiency, I couldn't think of the name. But we are going to go ahead and also adjust the rotation. And you know what? Whatever they want to go ahead and run, that's cool with me. We're just going to go ahead and adjust this a little bit. So we are going to be running something like this. Something like this. And I'm just hoping we could actually make it out of the play-in tournament. But I honestly wouldn't really count on it. But we are facing the Lakers. And honestly, I don't really care who they have. Let's just simulate and see what we can do in this game. So we are up. It's going back and forth. And are we going to make it? We're down by 8. Down by 9. Down by 7. Okay, so we end up losing, so we have one more chance to win and make the playoffs, and we do end up beating the Portland Trail Blazers by, what is that, 5 points. Devin Booker with 27, KD 26, and Beal with 20. Facing the Houston Rockets, as they has Lonzo Ball, Cameron Whitmore. They added Nick Richards. Did they add anybody else? Jackson, Wagner. Oh yeah, this is definitely a scary team. Look how many 80s they have. They have a lot of good players on this team. But you know what? Maybe we could go ahead and pull up an upset. I highly doubt it, but let's go ahead and simulate as we actually do pull up the upset. Okay, we end up pulling up an upset. This is our first playoff series win, as we did win game number 1. Booker dropped 26. Game number 2, we ended up losing. Bradley Beal with 26. Game number 3, we ended up losing as well, as Bradley Beal dropped 24, 22, and then 20. Game number 4, we ended up winning. Game number 5, we ended up winning as well, and then game number 6, we ended up winning. So this was actually a surprise because I really didn't think we were gonna win. But now we are facing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Taking a look at the team they have, they still have Rudy Gobert on this team. Honestly, not too good of a team. I mean, they have a couple, pretty much the same exact roster, not really any big changes. So we are gonna go ahead and simulate this round. Do we pull up another upset? No, we get swept in this round. Oh man, this was definitely a tough rebuild, but we are going to go and simulate the rest of the playoffs to see who wins, as the Mavericks and Pacers, the team we traded DeAndre Ayton to, and they actually get swept. I thought they were going to go ahead and win, but they made it further than we did. And how was actually, oh no, he is right here, DeAndre Ayton. He ended up averaging in the 3 years he was there 18 points, 17 points, and then almost 16 points a night. So not too bad from DeAndre Ayton. It definitely looks like they benefited from this trade and they were the winners. But yeah, this was definitely a hard trade just because we are so limited with the moves we make. And like I said, I don't really know what Phoenix was thinking when they went ahead and traded for Bradley Beal, because they could have got pieces like that, right? Like Buddy Hield, they could have got Miles Turner, they could have done something else, you know, maybe try to trade for, like, honestly, I don't really know off the top of my head what other role players they could have traded for, but you get what I'm saying. They could have traded like DeAndre Ayton or Chris Paul and Landry Shamet. They could have traded them for more than just one player. They could have traded them for like a couple good role players, but they went ahead and traded for Bradley Beal. Really don't see how this is going to work out unless they, you know, people get bought out and they sign up for the veteran minimum, which I feel like a lot of people are going to want to come to Phoenix now because obviously they have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker. But yeah, let me know down below in the comments, what would you guys like to see from this Phoenix team? Would you like to see him maybe trade DeAndre Ayton, maybe try to keep him, see what they can do? But let me know down below in the comments. But that's going to be it for today's video. Really disappointed on how we did in the playoffs. We definitely underperformed because we did get eliminated first round in the first year. Then we didn't even make the playoffs the second year. And then we did go ahead. We upsetted the 1 seed, but then we did lose in the second round. We got swept. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go ahead, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. And yeah, other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all next time. Stay safe. Peace.